Hold up, hold up. Yeah. Hold up, hey, woman.
Hold on. Let me finish my point, you jerk.
You don't call your dad a jerk.
Well, you're being a jerk.
We just had one of our guests on, Jason Fry, talking about the Celtics are going to win their 19th championship. So what have you got to say about that?
Who this Jason Fry character is, he was talking about doing hard shit. Well, his prediction is bullshit. Okay. All right. I have a feeling we're about to be joined by Sir George. He normally comes out of the black hole. Oh, there he is. Sir George. He is
it's
back.
You play football. What's up? You never
Well, I just want to say
Hey,
are.
Hey, Jerry. Hey, Jerry. I just sold Jerry a joke. Hey, Jerry. You said, well, this ain't your number one. You're number one, Jerry. Number one.
Oh, my God. We're moving on. We've killed the Cowboys. Matter of fact, get out. I'm tired of talking to you. Give me freaking JJ. Bring JJ on the show. Holy crap. Let's hear his opinion about this damn trade and why they made this decision. I think you're trying to cover your own ass right now and just not admit you were wrong.
In the country.
I think you're just trying to cover your ass right now. And
you know what? I got a big ass, so
that's a lot of cover.
A lot of cover. It take a blanket, damn it.
More like a drape.
Did you just pull a drape? Is that so I can open it up when I need to go? You know,
hey, you're getting too deep into this.
Rivalries make sports great, but they got to be on the same level. And I'm sorry, Angel Reese ain't on the level of Caitlin Clark. Like, it's not Magic Bird. If you don't want to commit to it, take your ass and be a PE All-Star.
First off, you need to get your facts effing straight.
How do you like me now? What? You're the coach. Shut up, dude. All you haters, shut the hell up. Just shut the hell up. Whoa. I won 5 Super Bowls, damn it. How dare you call the Cowboys a shit team? Watch the Cowboys. It'll be fun, they said. Bloody fucking hell, it was no fun.
It was like riding a train around one of the Kardashians' asses, and you just disappear into this abyss of ass. Somehow he talked about buttholes that made me hungry for a PBJ sandwich. It's 35-7, and it's only 7 because you just scored. Shut up.
Are you telling me coaches like Coach Popovich does plays in spaghetti noodles?
The thing about Coach Popovich is he actually liked to use popcorn with super glue.
Popcorn with super glue?
Yeah, he would put super glue little magnets on the bottom, and then he would arrange them on the board, and he would like color them different colors, and that would signify the opponents. And yeah.
Are those the players?
I don't want to give away any industry secrets on that particular thing, but yeah, I'm just gonna say you gotta. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm saying no more.
And they're playing with sticks, and they're playing with a little puck all the time.
Expert analysis right there. They play with sticks and pucks.
Trying to grow the game, man. Global game.
These people, they don't give a damn.
Well, I don't really know, but it drives me nuts. You're almost going to laugh. I can see it. Almost fixing to lose it. It drives me nuts.
Oh, man.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
Well, all right, here we are, and we are live again. It is me, myself and I, as Casey, will be coming back from their whirlwind honeymoon. I think they just finished up in London. If you go to his Facebook, if you're watching this live stream on Facebook, you can see they've loaded 20 million thousand pictures of mainly him doing this in front of something. And then that comes from, I know as a kid, it was Theo standing on looking up or whatever. He does that. We'll have to ask him about that at some point. But we have a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to try and keep it down to a little about an hour, a little more maybe than an hour. And really, I'm looking forward to getting him back on the air. We've got some stories today. We're talking a little bit Shadir Sanders or Shador Sanders doing in his damn car. Got lots of WNBA stuff. And it has been the enforcer in Caitlin bodyguard. We'll talk a little bit about Sophie Cunningham. Lebron, yeah, open his mouth again. And once again, there's a reason why he's not damn good. And I'll talk about that. We've got Stanley Cup. It has done. Florida Panthers. And then, of course, tonight, we have Game 6 of the NBA Finals. And, unfortunately for the Pacers, one of their main players is Auburn. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what that's going to cost. And obviously, we'll get started with the joke tonight. And I'm going to say I sold this joke or practiced this joke. There's a couple on Facebook, and I'm going to actually reach out to them, try to get them on the show. A couple who, it's not the ones who drop the balloons full of shaving cream on each other. Not this. There's another couple that tell jokes and things on each other. I'll have to do some. I want to give credit for this joke. Like that funny joke is, did you know that a bee, a honeybee, after they mate with the queen, they die? That's their life. So basically, you could sum up their life in this. Remember, I said they die after they mate. So a male bee's life is basically honey, nut, Cheerios. It is honey, nut, Cheerios. All right, there we go. I thought that was fun. Because I did not know the cereal. Kind of named the whole timeline of a bee's life. So, yeah, I will touch a little bit on NFL tonight too. But let's lead off with the big story. The big story, obviously, is the NBA Finals tonight, Game 6. And we are going to see if the Pacers can hang in there. And when I'm talking about who's hobbled, you guys who are watching it obviously know, it's Halliburton, who's been Mr. Clutch. In those moments, I've compared him a little bit, although it's not really a good comparison to being Mr. Clutch. It's kind of like the old Robert Horry, who played with the Lakers, played with the Spurs. He always managed to keep the team in the game when they needed it. So tonight, the question is, who has the edge tonight? And when you say Halliburton is out, and I guess there is some talk about him maybe trying to go, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But when we talk on him being out of the offense, some other folks are going to have to step up, quite frankly. And we have seen that from guys like McConnell. We've seen it from Toppin. And it just wasn't enough. And obviously, in Game 5, let's talk a little bit about Game 5. Game 5, it was once again another close game until we got in the last 5 minutes, 4 minutes of the fourth quarter of the game. Before that, it was definitely it was anybody's game, and the Pacers were hanging pretty close, but we saw them do something you just can't do, and this is another thing that I'll talk about when we talk about the NHL also, is you cannot have stupid turnovers, especially in a clutch situation, because in basketball, 2 turnovers can put you out of the game. Because if 2 turnovers lead to 2 3-pointers or a shot and a foul, so a 2 and 1, it can put you 6, maybe even 7 points down with just 2 turnovers. And that to me was the big difference at the end, is that the Pacers kind of lost it in their ball control. And we saw it. We saw it on Carlisle's face in how they were committing turnovers that were just not what we've seen them do in those clutch situations. And of course, obviously with Halliburton out, that changed a little bit of their approach. But I still think they were hanging in really well. But when you let 2 players, mind you, Williams and CJ, when you let 2 players score 71 points, which I know how that breaks down, I'm pretty sure it was Williams. Williams had 40, and I had 31. 31 points for just 2 players. Let's We're not going to win many games. Let's just put it that way. We've seen, sometimes certain players take over a game and be able to handle, or I should say the other team is able to handle it with one player. So when you're letting 2 players get in 30 plus, then you better have 2 players doing the same. And unfortunately, you've got the MVP doing that, and you've got Williams doing that. So that was a big difference for most of the game. But really, in that last 5 minutes is when we saw the fact that Halliburton wasn't in there. We saw the Pacers really kind of fall apart in the last 4 to 5 minutes. So getting to tonight, what are we going to see? Let's talk about what we need to see tonight. Tonight, we need to see players step up. Now, the one thing that gets a little ignored in Game 5 because they lost is McConnell. McConnell coming off the bench had 18 points, and he really was working hard. And he's going to have to do that tonight. They're going to have players off the bench. McConnell, maybe Benedict, Mathurin. They're going to have to, and then Thompson also. We're going to have to see these guys come off the bench, and they're going to have to contribute. And I think it can't be just one person coming in and trying to take Halliburton's place, obviously. It's going to need to be from the team. We're going to have to see these folks step up. I think Turner is going to need to contribute a little bit more. He had 13 in game 5. He's going to need to contribute more. He was pretty decent from the floor. He was 3 for 5 on a field goal, 3-pointers, 1 for 2. So he only took 2 shots. So he's 50-50. He's not a big 3-pointer shooter anyway. So that's where I'm thinking this is going to come down to it. Now, who do I think is going to win? Every time, I should say, that people have gone against Indiana and counted the Pacers out, that's when they come back and they surprise everybody. And so I'm going to go probably not the direction that everybody else is going to go because I've got some factors for this. I think the Pacers can win this game without Halliburton being in it. Yeah, like I said, you have the other players, Connell, McCurran, coming off the bench and contributing, then I think they're going to win this game. And I think it's going to go to game 7. Because the other factor is Indiana. They're playing, obviously, in the Pacers building. Indiana is a basketball town, and from what I've seen during this entire series, the Pacers feed off their crowd more than Oklahoma does, more than just about any other team does. Even though we say, yep, home field advantage is a big deal, I think those are the couple of factors. The factor that they're at home, they're going to have that crowd behind them, and I think they have the players off of it to be able to pull this off. We've seen it. We've seen them contribute. We saw McConnell. It just wasn't enough. So I think McConnell's going to need to have a big game. He's going to have to contribute. Toppin's going to have to contribute. And Mathurin's going to have to contribute. If they get a good effort and good shooting out of each one of those players, or even just 2 out of the 3, then Pacers win this game and it goes to game 7. This is what I'm predicting is going to happen. I think the Pacers every game this year have proven that they don't count them out. Do not count them out because they find a way to win. Even when everybody says there's no way they're going to win this game, they find a way to pull this thing off. So that's my prediction. Obviously, I've been wrong on some of these others, but I think it's going to go to game 7 in Oklahoma. And as far as who pulls that off, we're going to have to see where Halliburton is. I haven't got an injury report in front of me. I'm not sure. I know it was a calf injury, and those can go either way. Calf can be really a big hindrance, or it can work itself out depending on how serious that is. I may look that up later to see what the latest on that. But I do think this goes to game 7 because the Pacers are playing at home, and I think they have enough players off the bench to pull this thing off. So we're going to find out here in about 20 minutes or so when this game tips off, and we'll see. A lot of people might say, well, game 5, 120 to 109 was a pretty substantial victory in basketball. So once again, as I stated before, it was the last 5 minutes that we saw the Pacers really just kind of, to me, just really kind of fell apart. That's basically what they did. They fell apart. So that is the NBA and what's going on there. So you guys heard my prediction for it. I'm interested to see if anybody's in the chat option and has any comments on that. With that, we're going to stick with basketball, and I'm going to bring up someone. And it's so funny how these things all of a sudden just change, right? Here it is. Here's what led to this: is that you have the foul on Caitlin Clark, and here we are with Caitlin Clark again. And what's amazing to me is the Indiana Fever are not really in the running for the championship at this point. They're 5-5. But we saw this play out, and it was just, the whole point of what happened to Caitlin Clark at the beginning, to me, was pretty ridiculous. And the fact that she ended up with a technical was ludicrous. Or Mike Tyson would say it was ludicrous. But there should have been some ejections. There should have been some more technical fouls. And not just on Sheldon, but on the other two that came in and hit Caitlin after. And it's just, before I get to Sophie, my thing is they keep doing this bullshit. They keep doing it. And Caitlin, I'm a fan of her because she puts up with this shit every single game. Every single game, she is getting knocked around and treated like they don't want her there, which to me is completely damn ridiculous because she has put the WNBA on the map. As we said, Casey and I have talked about this 2 years ago. Nobody gave a damn about the WNBA except people who were associated with it. The NBA has been sticking with the NBA for many, many years, involving them in their pro days, all this other stuff, and their all-star game, trying to promote it. But it wasn't until Caitlin Clark stepped her ass on the court for the WNBA that they started to sell a lot of tickets and their popularity started to go. And here's what I'm going to say now is about Sophie Cunningham. First off, I didn't know a lot about her. If you look at her story and her background, she's actually got a twist. They need to make her story into a movie. First off, she's a beautiful lady. She is a beautiful lady. But she's also tough as freaking nails. One of the things, if you look at her background, is she actually played high school football with the boys. High school football. And if you look at her story, she picked. What happened with her high school football team was the kicker got injured. And she stepped in, they put her on the team, and you can look at the videos because the videos are out there because Sophie has blown up all over the internet now as the enforcer. And she is hugely popular. If I will probably order her jersey because I just think that is a teammate. What she did, and she went in there and basically said, "You're not going to F my freaking teammate anymore." And she took Sheldon down and she went up to make that shot. Yes, it was a flagrant foul, but it also sent a damn message. And now, what gets me is anybody who seems to stand next to Caitlin Clark, even on their team, all of a sudden, the rest of the WNBA kind of gathered around like a bunch of freaking hungry bitches, which is what I'm calling them, a bunch of hungry bitches, none of blood in the water, and they're trying to, for some reason, get Taylor Clark out of the league, is what it feels like. And now you've got Sophie Cunningham standing up for her, who comes in, who's been in the league for a while, but she is a tough lady and a tough player. And she came in and she filtered, and now we have a discussion started by some of the WNBA players. I'm not saying to find a damn WNBA players to try and push her out of the league because of this shit. That's really damn ridiculous. And if I wasn't live right now, I would shoot those ladies the finger that are trying to come up with this. Now their petition, and remember how popular some of them are. Only has 119 signatures as of what I said before. 119. That's more than everybody. And because I think most people really like how ridiculous it is. So when you talk about Sophie Cunningham, like I said, she's been an athlete for a long time. And if you look at her story, she's been a teammate and a really good teammate, I should say. And a teammate, but a really good teammate. And what she was able to do is go in there, stand up for Caitlin. And what's crazy to me, first off, like I said, I think the fact that Caitlin puts up with this shit every damn game, but in a way, it keeps her popularity up. And now you look at Sophie Cunningham, that probably a lot of people did not know about until all this happened. Now she's gone boom to the top of the internet list. I mean, you Google her name, everything's coming up. It's everywhere. She's everywhere. And she's just good for her. And I really do hope that she gets some endorsements out of this. That she gets because she deserves it. Because that's what you want a teammate to do, is stand up for their other teammates. And I think too many of them have stood by and let Caitlin get the shit knocked out of her and then not stand up for it. So kudos to Sophie. And like I said, if you look at her story in high school, she led her basketball team to numerous championships. She played football, kicked 2 out of 4 extra points in the game, field goals, and she's someone that, to me, your daughters can look up to, aspire to. Caitlin is, obviously, but now you have someone in Sophie that they can. And WNBA, get your shit straight. You players that are so dead set against Caitlin Clark and now Sophie, get your head out of your ass. Because these players and these types of things that especially Caitlin brings to the table is putting food on your table. Because it ain't Angel Reese. Angel Reese ain't got her picture on a cereal box, but I saw a guy with a video the other day trying to put that cereal box in his shopping cart, and it kept missing the shopping cart. Kind of like Angel Reese. And I hope Angel Reese gets better because there's really not a rivalry right now between her and Caitlin, because usually a rivalry requires two good players, and Angel Reese ain't that good. In fact, lately she's been flat out terrible. So kudos to Sophie. Kudos to Caitlin. And, you know, keep bringing it, ladies. Keep bringing it. Because you've got more support than you made. I can tell you that right now. Keep bringing it. You know, I haven't been interested in the WNBA until this stuff. Because this is what sports are about. It's all about the competition. And sometimes it gets tricky in that competition. And but at the end of the day, as long as they're competing and it's a fun game to watch, it's entertainment. That's basically what it's all for. So kudos to them. Kudos to Sophie and Caitlin. And like I said, the rest of you WNBA players together and get your head out your ass. There, I said it all. All right, so that is my rant on that. With that, it is about time to bring on our sponsor, and I'm going to do that right now.
Have you heard of the DISC communication tool? Yes, most people in business have. But there is a new tool out there that is tailored for leadership teams. It is called the DISC Work of Leaders and focuses on 3 main areas: vision, alignment, and execution. This amazing assessment is not just a game changer. It is a business strategy necessity if you want to create sustainability. Let's be honest, a lot of executives spend many hours in HR dealing with people issues, and that happens because of reactive leadership. If you are sitting in HR trying to figure out what happened after the fact, then you are not able to concentrate on running your department or business, and it steals your time. Email us or call. It's free to talk about it and learn how to become proactive in your leadership. Big or small, we have a plan to build on your strengths and an action plan for your challenges. Join Eddie Schedule, our CEO and founder, for a quick video on what a report does for you. Head over to our website and scroll down to see this amazing video of the DISC Work of Leaders tool. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to hearing from you.
All right. That is Easy Leadership, and they, well, I should say they also are a part of that. But one thing that we definitely offer that people should check out for you young folks or you ones who have children, we do have a career assessment that really helps young folks pick out their careers early on based on their personality, what they're interested in, and not just what they're good at or what they like, but it's also based on their personality. And man, I wish I did that when I was 19, 20 years old. I probably would have went into this sort of broadcasting early on. But just think about how much time it took you to figure out what you like to do. So give them a chance at finding that a lot earlier than you did. Check it out at leadership.com, as Sharon just said. All right, so the next big story is we have a repeat, not two, of the Stanley Cup. The Florida Panthers do it again. And not only do they do it again, they did it by beating the hell out of the Edmonton Oilers for a second year in a row. This really actually surprises me because, first off, I really thought the Stars had a good team, and Edmonton came in and just took that series from the Stars. They were faster, they were stronger, and I know people say McDavid is the best player in the NFL. Well, it wasn't in this Stanley Cup series. I'm not telling you that. He's still a contributor, but he was not the best. But I really thought Edmonton coming in the Stanley Cup, because they lost it last year to the same damn Panthers team that they were coming in to play, I thought there's no way they're going to let this happen. They're stronger, they're faster. They supposedly have one of the best players in the league. And they have the shit knocked out of them. Skinner, if you guys remember, we talked about this, or I talked about this, the third goalie for the Edmonton Oilers, Skinner, they said that was the weak point. The weak point for Edmonton coming into the playoffs. But Skinner found his groove. And I think more than McDavid and any of these other players, Skinner was the reason they beat the Bucks and the reason they got to the Stanley Cup final. But there was always this little bit of nervousness that Skinner going to turn into the Skinner we know. And we know the answer to that now. But I'm not going to put this last game and the series all on Skinner. Because just like we saw in the NBA finals in the last 5 minutes of stupid turnovers, the turnovers in this game for Edmonton were killer. From the first goal in this game scored by Reinhart, and oh my gosh, Reinhart didn't just have a hat trick, didn't just have one goal, didn't just have 2 goals, didn't just have 3 goals, he had 4 goals. Reinhart. And granted that I think 2 of those, 2 of them are on Smith. But the bottom line is the Florida Panthers just beat the living crap out of the Edmonton Oilers. They scored that one goal wasn't even a great goal. That one goal was toward the end when they had an empty net. So it really wasn't even. They basically didn't score the whole game. And Skinner, like I said, struggled, but it was turnover. The first goal, you need to go back and look at the video. And one day we'll be able to show videos on here. But Reinhart, it was turnover, and he literally took the puck, got up 2 players by himself, no assist, fought his way all the way to the goal, and slammed it home for the first goal. And that was at 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. That right there set the tone of the entire game. Kachuk came out and scored almost toward the end at 19-13, so there was literally 57 seconds or 47 seconds left in the game. Or not even that long, I'm sorry. I can't add tonight. Don't ask me to do math, that's why I'm on there. Bottom line is the Panthers just banked the Oilers in this game. The Oilers looked defeated, and that's what really was surprising to me. Is that the Oilers looked defeated, even though it looks like they're playing hard. But if you watch hockey, you kind of knew something wasn't right with them. Which is astounding to me because you got beat just like this last year by the same team. And, it's interesting because we've seen this in sports. And I've seen this with the Cowboys in games. And you're like, yeah, they can't lose this game. They have this game that determines who goes in the playoffs. There's no way they'll lose this game. And then either the Eagles or the Cowboys come in, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? How come they're not up for this? How come they're not playing like they're live dependent on it. And that's what got me. Oilers fans, I'm sorry, but your team got the shit out of it. And they looked defeated in these last two games. They looked defeated, which is what I don't. That just astounds me because you lost to the same exact team last year and almost in the same fashion of getting the front knocked out. The paper was good, but the Oilers were good. Game one, and granted, it was overtime. And granted, they fought in game two to overtime. And the Panthers got the thing about hockey is it's who scores first, and it can be just the luck of the puck, I should say, the luck of the puck. I just made that up. The luck of the puck. In other words, the bounce here or get off the ice here and get past the goal. So I really thought the Oilers played a great game in game two. It went to double overtime. People were starting to get tired, and unfortunately, the luck of the puck went to the Panthers. And then we just saw come back to game three, and my goodness, getting beat 6-1. You're thinking, wow, Oilers are just not on. They're so tired from that double overtime game. And so then they come back, once again, we go into overtime. And this is what it means. The only games that the Oilers won in this entire series, the only two, were in overtime. They had 3 overtime games in this series, in game 1, 2, and 4. But that's where I thought that the Oilers might turn this thing around. But then the Panthers go into Edmonton and just tear the Oilers apart. Skinner does not look good in game 5. And that game was not as close as it was with 5-2. And that's obviously in the hockey game, 5-2 is a huge score. But so Skinner started struggling in that game. And then in game 6, Skinner he made some horrible mistakes. And what I mean by that, and we've seen him do this, and this is why a lot of folks get a little nervous with Skinner, is that he will get himself out of position. And so far out of position that he cannot physically get his body back to block a pass across the crease. And we saw some goals that way. And the Panthers are obviously the best in the league at finding open ice in front of the crease and finding their teammates in front of the crease. They can say all they want about McDavid and being able to find his teammates, and he's very good at that. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Panthers, it isn't one person. Their entire team, this is why they kill you on the power play, is because they understand how to control. They play so well as a group that they know where each other is going to be. And I'm going to tell you, when you talk about hockey, obviously one of my sons played hockey, but watching this for many years, a qualified pass in front of the crease, the player that is receiving that pass has to be perfect in how they bring their stick down to hit that puck at just the right moment to send it in a direction towards the net. And the faster that pass is coming at you, which is usually pretty fast, the harder it is to time that. But if you look at the Panthers, and like I said, and passes that are in front of the crease, they are the best in the league at being able to finish. And that's exactly what they did to the Oilers. They finished them off. And so kudos to the Panthers. The Panthers have won two Stanley Cups in a row, and that is extremely hard to do. Not many teams have been able to do that over the years. Obviously, the Oilers did that for a little while, and you had a great one for the team on it. But it's just so I can't imagine the disappointment to the Oilers fans right now when you came into this series, and of course the team also, you came into this series looking really good. And you saw them in the first two games to overtime. The second game was people were getting tired. That could have gone anyway. But then just to get totally whooped in the last 5 and 6, it's got to be such a hard defeat. A couple of weeks ago, when I was still doing the solo, I talked about some of the worst losses in sports history. And I mean, say this one goes down as one of those. When you get back to the championship, and you can ask a whole Bills fans about this. When you get back to the championship against the same team, you have so much riding on this thing to beat them and to prove that you are the better team and that they're not the team that has their number, so to speak. So what we have seen in these last 2 Stanley Cups is the Panthers not only had Edmonton's number, they sent Edmonton home basically crying because it wasn't even close in the last 2 games. It wasn't even close. So that congratulations, Florida. And I think I have to look. I'll have to look this up, and I'll share this in our next live thing. But Canada, an American team pretty much won the cup. Or I'm going to bring that up. But you're looking good, Canada. Sorry, supposed to be your damn sport, and we're in your butt. So, Canada, you need to up your game. You definitely need to up your game. So, what up, Dustin? He just said my name. Here I am. But so that is the Panthers' 2 Stanley Cups in a row against the Edmonton Oilers, and they play in Florida. You guys are in Canada, Oilers. You're in Canada, where it's always cold. You can pretty much play hockey all year round, outside and in, because it's freaking cold up there. I've always said Canada's kind of like your attic in the house. You know, it's there, but you kind of forget about it. You go up there and you look around and go, oh, wow, I forgot all this shit was up here. That's kind of how it's Canada. Sorry, if you're from Canada, you know, you just lost all the Stanley Cup in a row. So there you go. All right. Well, we are going to move on. Let's talk a little bit about Major League Baseball. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. There's not a whole lot of stories coming out of there, but I do want to touch on the Astros continue to win games here. and they're really starting to show that they're gelling as a team. The Rangers are still below 500, 6-4. They've lost 3 in a row. They just can't seem to find a rhythm. So kudos to the Astros coming up and uh, kind of showing promise. I think a lot of folks didn't pencil in the Astros to be as good as they have been in the past. Obviously, there's been some personnel changes. There's been some coaching changes. There's been position changes. Um, but the fact that they are now leading the American League West and kind of taking over that division is a testament to that team. And we'll keep watching and hoping to see what they do. Uh, the Dodgers are starting to pull away from the Giants a little bit in the National League West. Not a big surprise there. Your Yankees or your New Yorkers are still, that division is still really close to the American League East. With the Yankees at 43 wins, the Rays at 41, and the Blue Jays at 40, and even the Red Sox at 39. The only team that's really kind of fallen out of it is the Orioles. Uh, but so that division is going to be interesting to see how all that plays out because those teams are so close, and I think everybody thought that the Yankees would probably run away with this early, which they did start to even up. When you look at American League Central, the Detroit Tigers have a hold on that right now, beating up actually 11 games on the closest team, which is the Guardians, who are at a 3-year tie with the Twins and the Orioles. The Mets and Philadelphia Phillies, which I'm sure you guys, if you listen to our Philadelphia show, they talk a lot about the Phillies right now, 1 game behind the Mets. So that's a big still up for grabs. So it looks like those two. And the reason I say it's just those two teams that are going to find that out is the Braves are still way back. They're 11 games back. And we have the Nationals in third. Pretty much it, I'm not going to sugarcoat that for you. The Marlins are just off the map at this point. So the NBA final game has started. And it is tied up. So Indiana just made it 37 in the first period, less than the first period, and it's 10 to 10. Close. So I will be able to keep up with that. So speaking of the NBA, here's my rant on this thing. Let me find. I'm going to bring. We had. That's not we had a background. I guess I'll bring up the hot take thing here. Let me move myself to the side so you can see that. Is LeBron. Oh my goodness. And that's really be a important piece. I don't know what to do before he I was looking for it in the sense that is background. So I guess he took that down. Yeah, I'm still there trying to look at that. But the bottom line is LeBron, good break. I don't want to hear any more about LeBron being the damn GOAT. I'm really tired of hearing that because the shit he said is damn ridiculous. It is ridiculous. He said that he doesn't understand why the league is so focused on teams getting a ring, or players getting a ring. In other words, winning a championship. What the hell? Why are they focused on that? Why are fans focused on that? Why is the media focused on that? Maybe because that's the object of the damn game. Is to play the damn game to win and ultimately win a championship. Otherwise, go play badminton or some bullshit. You are being paid millions of dollars, millions, to play a game for that team which has a set fan base who pays their hard-earned money for merchandise, for tickets to see the damn game, in hope that their team can win a championship at some point. And for this dude who was the anointed one when he came in, proclaimed himself the king of the NBA, first had to be the king of the outhouse, not the NBA, because everything that he talks about is a bunch of bullshit. The fact that someone like that, who has said that the league should not be so focused on players winning a ring. Hello? Is there a reason why we went through this bullshit of the division when LeBron feels he can't win a championship in Cleveland, and it becomes a big media thing, and he heads to the Miami Heat to play with Chris Bosh, to play with Dwayne Wade, some players that he wanted to assemble so he could win a championship. Look, we shouldn't be focused on that. When you were, hey, LeBron, maybe you're just freaking old, and maybe it's time you sat down and retired. Because if you're not playing the game to win a championship, then why are you out there, dude? Why are you playing to win? Because I guarantee you, your new teammate, Lucas, he's playing to win a damn championship. That's what he's doing. And how about all the rest of his damn team on the Lakers? They want to win a championship. And how about not disrespecting the people, the players who came before you that wore that damn uniform and won tons of championships? Never did it come out of their mouth. Why are we focused on winning championships or getting rings all the time? This is the stupidest shit I've ever heard from a professional player. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've heard some pretty stupid shit before. But that's ridiculous. And that, to me, is one of the reasons it removes him from the whole GOAT, from the whole Michael Jordan conversation. Michael Jordan, you would never get that out of his mouth. Ever, ever, ever. And I would also argue that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was much better than LeBron. Put his resume in there. Put his stats in there. But it's just bullshit. It's ridiculous. The fact that he would even say that, to me, you have Michael Jordan, Jabbar, and then maybe I would still put Kobe in front of LeBron. You would never see that shit out of Kobe's mouth. I'd rest his soul. But he would never say that. Never, ever would you hear that out of his mouth. He was always talking about how you had to work harder. You had to be consistent. Because the focus was to win a championship. So, LeBron, good gracious, man. Just when you think you can't say something dumber, you say this stuff. Oh, so that's my rant about LeBron. I don't get it. I really don't. And I I, it just gets me, man. It really does. It drives me crazy that he would even say something like that. It's just, I don't get it. I really don't. So, all right. Let's see. So getting back to, we'll bring it back to the NFL. We are at the 8 o'clock mark. I'll check the score for you on the NBA. So Shador Sanders is in the news again. In the news, but not because of his play on the field, not because of how well he's doing, but he's been pulled over for speeding. And you might say, well, that's not a big deal. Twice at more than 100 miles an hour. The last one, he was at 110 miles an hour. Now, granted, I'm gonna say Shador. They showed the police video. He was respectful. He was not saying you know who I am or anything like that. He was a complete gentleman, complete. You know, you can tell he's been raised by Elon. Complete gentleman. But Shador, goodness gracious, dude, 110 in Cleveland. You need to cool down, man. I don't. Granted, you may have a fast car and all that stuff, but go somewhere where you can run that thing. It's one thing to be speeding. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't speed. We all do. And if you say you don't, you're a liar. We all know that, okay, if I have 10 miles an hour above the speed limit, you're going to pull me over. So in 75, I'm going 85. At 65, I'm going 75. We all do it. What you do. But before, 100 miles an hour, twice now. Neon, you need to give your son a call. It's okay to drive a little bit fast. But that ain't just fast. That's ludicrous speed. You're seeing baseball. Ludicrous speed. Because when you get up to that speed in a vehicle, and you can ask any race car driver or anybody, is that your reaction time better be spot on. It better be spot on. Or you're going to end up dying in a crash or getting very mangled up because you can't stop fast enough. And we saw this. We've seen this with the movie stars. We've seen this with people who just think they can handle themselves at that speed. Well, because they see NASCAR, or they see, F1 racing, all that stuff. Well, I got news for you. Those people in those racing cars have been training for years to do that, and they still wreck. So, sure, calm down, man. Slow down. Do you really need to be somewhere that damn fast? And if you want to go that fast, go on a racetrack. If you put your long car out on a racetrack, there's plenty of places in Ohio that you can go and take your car out and run it as fast as you can in a safe environment. But my problem is when you do that in the public, you're putting other people's, not just your life in danger, but you're putting other people's lives in danger. Because, like I said, when you were going over 100 miles an hour, anybody who's done that, oh, we've all probably done it, but you do it once and you learn, okay, wow, that's pretty fast. But the bottom line is you're not just putting yourself in danger, you're risking the lives of other people. And I don't know if anybody's in the car with you, but you're risking their lives too. Close the door. Calm down. Slow down. You can go a little fast, but you don't need to be going everywhere at 100 and something miles an hour. If you're that late, you need to set the clock a little bit better. So we're getting ready for camp for football, so we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. I know NBA draft is going to be coming up also. And then next week I will get Casey back. He will be back, and he will be on. So I'm sure there'll be some fun banter with that. But the Cowboys brought in a few folks. They brought in one of Green Bay's corners who's been around for a while. They've got a couple of the new USFL players, but nothing really but camp's going to be starting up soon here in July. Football is getting really close. So I think we've got a lot of interesting stories that we're going to have to see how these things play out in the camp. A&M's doing good as far as the recruiting. That's my background's going away, and they're showing me A&M. That was a plan, but it actually does plan. I'm just bouncing off my ball, no food. That's what it is. But A&M's got some 5-star recruits coming out, or committing, I should say, and got a few that are thinking about committing. So looking forward to that. I know Aggregation is looking forward to that. But I think that is about it for the night. We have covered quite a bit. Oh, I forgot one story. Lakers got sold. I did not know they were on sale. But the Buck family has sold the Lakers for not 2, not 5, not even 7 billion, but 10 billion and billion dollars. So this is going to be interesting. I guess the Buck family will still be involved with that team, but anytime a team is sold, it's always interesting to see how things play out and what kind of changes that the new owners make. And LeBron, you running your mouth about not wanting to win a championship, and why are we focused on that shit? We're going to stand by and see what happens with that. I just think, I don't want to keep harping on it, but I think LeBron really needs to think about retiring. I think he's past the point of, he's obviously well past his prime. And the fact that you are not focused on winning a championship anymore is really ridiculous. I don't want you on my team. I don't want you to be my teammate if you're not focused on winning. And quite frankly, there's teams, players out there that we know are focused on winning. So with that, next week, Casey will be back. So we'll be back to normal. Not that we're ever normal. We'll have some interviews again next week. But same time, same channel. We appreciate you listening. I'm trying to get an update. There's a huge foul. Looks like a foul just went off. And it is, what did I say? 28-22. Only 36 seconds left in the first quarter. So still a lot of basketball to be played, but I really do think that the Pacers being at home and having that crowd behind them is going to be, and wait a second, Halliburton is in the game. So there you go. There's your update on his injury. So with Halliburton, and he seems to be moving good. He's got his leg wrapped up. Like I said, calf injuries are something that can go either way, even though it can be a lot of pain when it starts out through massage, through as long as nothing ripped, then you can work through that. And it looks like that's exactly what Halliburton's doing. And obviously, with this, it's the end of the first quarter of 28-25, losing by 3 with the NBA championship on the line. He's in there playing. And we saw this when we looked at it from the Mavericks playing basically all over it. Although Halliburton seems to be moving around pretty good out there. So there you have it. Now I really think the Pacers are going to force a game 7 now that he is in the game. I still think some others may have to step up depending on how he feels going into the second half and whether that second half starts to get good. So with that, we'll be signing off for the night. We over an hour. I appreciate you being here, but I think before we sign off, we are still looking for sponsors. Obviously, we have our main sponsor, Easy Leadership. But if you would like to have your business, whether you're on local level, national level, wherever, we have a lot of listeners, whether it's on YouTube, X, on LinkedIn, wherever it might be, that we can get you a 30-second spot for commercials for the month, like $30. Where are you going to find that? And then we'll make the ad if you need us with that. And then we can talk about what other packages you want our whole network show, all our networks and things like that. We just need sponsors to help us stay on the air and talk about things and have a little fun. So with that, have a good rest of the Thursday evening. And I know a lot of you are going to watch the game, and we will catch you next week. So, peace out.